West of thought.
Oh, sorry, Gary. I want to catch what you were saying, so I'll start the
All right,
recording now.
we're now recording us. So yeah, so with everything that's going on, I thought it was a really great idea to come along and say hello and see how you feel a group like this could work for Cheshire East. Is it possible that we can turn it into a Cheshire-wide network? Obviously, we'll have to talk to CVS Cheshire East and Helen and colleagues about whether whether that's sensible, feasible, possible. No idea what the funding arrangements are for any of this or what support there is or where it's coming from, etc. But certainly in my area, we would love to have a neuro inclusive alliance. We have got one for mental health. We've got one for children, young people, and families. We've got one for food partnerships for people that work in and around food. We haven't got one for aging, and we haven't got one for neurodiversity. So yeah, just here to see whether or not it's worth talking to you good people about. Should we extend it further, and if so, what would we do and how would we do it? Oh, and by the way, I'm married to Cindy. She's in the kitchen.
Love it. Thank you so much, Gary, and happy to have you here from the Cheshire West perspective. And I've started recording now just because I realize I don't want to miss all this wonderful reasons why you're here. So Shelley next.
Hello everyone, my name's Shelley Hughes. I'm an assistant head teacher at St Mary's Roman Catholic Primary School in Middlewich. I lead on inclusion and I've just kind of come along to have a listen and see if there's anything that we can do to best support our neurodiverse children and their families.
Super. Thank you, Shelley.
Thank you.
And Simon, your name, your organisation, and one thing that brought you here today.
I'm Simon. I'm from Space for Autism on the outreach team. So we do a drop-in for parents and adults, and we give advice and we signpost, and we have a lot of social groups which I work on as well on a Saturday or every other Saturday. So yeah, just always good to be on here just to see what everyone else is doing, what other organisations are offering, so that we can effectively signpost. So yeah, happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Thank you, Simon. And Emma?
Hi.
Salisbury, sorry.
Hello, I'm Emma Salisbury. I'm the museum administrator for Nantwich Museum. So we've been doing a big accessibility project. We've done a lot of stuff about kind of various different disabilities, making the museum more accessible. But one thing we've not done a lot for at the moment is making it more accessible for neurodivergent visitors and staff, volunteers. And also we do a lot of school workshops. So we want to try and make it more inclusive for kind of school children that come in to do our workshops. I do also have a personal sort of interest in this because my 9-year-old son's just been diagnosed with autism and ADHD, so it's kind of quite a personal thing for me at the moment as well, just to try and make sure that the museum's as accessible and inclusive as we can make it.
Well, thanks for sharing, Emma. And Laura Kerr.
Hi there, I'm Laura and I'm the Wellbeing Team Leader at Vision. For anyone who doesn't know Vision, we're a charity with our bases in Crewe and Congleton, and we work with young people to support their mental health and well-being, so primarily for 11 to 18-year-olds, and they can come and access counselling, mentoring, group work, and we also go out and do workshops in primary schools now as well around supporting mental health. And yeah, we definitely see a large proportion of Vision's clients who are neurodivergent, either diagnosed on the pathway or who bring that into the conversation, and they're kind of something they're exploring independently. And yeah, we're really keen to both have good links in this area because it's short-term work that the young people come to us for, and it might be that we can often at the end of that be trying to help them find other places they can go which are going to carry on their wellbeing journey, and also just to learn. Already I'm learning from all of you in your instructions, so yeah, just to try and always improve what we're doing. And one other motivation was we know some of the things that we want to do. We've kind of done a bit of an audit of making our physical spaces more neurodivergent friendly, but it kind of comes down to funding. And yeah, definitely if love to learn if anyone knows of any funding pots that might support with adaptations, reasonable adjustments, and so on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. And Mohammed? Mo?
Hi there, everyone. My name is Mo. I'm one of the adult social workers in Cheshire East Council. The reason for me being here today is I was diagnosed later in life, literally about 6 months ago. So I'm just wanting to be a sponge really and find out what's available and absorb as much information from today's session as possible to hopefully share it with the people that I work with. Because yeah, I think neurodiversity is it's not as common. It's more common than people realize, but probably maybe underdiagnosed. So it's not always clear cut what kind of help and support is available to people. So yeah, it'd be helpful to know what's available out there. That's me.
Thank you, Mo. And Emma Worrell?
Hi, I've just got my camera to work.
Oh,
I don't know
wonderful.
what I've done. Hi, so my name's Emma. I'm head of community services for Pettipool Trust, which is based in Sandyway in Northwich. So I lead a charity for autism called Autism Practical Support, which previously was known as CHAPS, and Pettipool in the Community, which is a service for young adults mainly who have SEND and neurodiverse needs. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting to come along and see what everybody else is doing. Within the autism charity, we offer kind of a range of support services. So we have memberships, a membership service where family groups can join us and engage in family activities like family swims. We ensure that all the activities we run are inclusive and supportive of our members and the families. We run kids clubs, youth clubs, and a whole range of different socialisation activities to build friendships and connections, not just for the children, but also for the parents to speak to other parents. We do offer counselling for adults and children, which is autism informed, and we have a support service. We do a range of support that wraps around the family, and we also support adults who are autistic as well, and have adult meets and activities. Yeah, that's
Amazing.
it. Thank you.
Doing a few bits there. Thank
We
you,
do
Emma.
training, sorry, as well. We do we don't call it training, it's called family empowerment. So it's around empowering families to be able to support their children or young people or adults the best they can by raising awareness. And we work in schools as well. Sorry, I'll finish now. Thank you.
Thank you. You go on that list. And Neil, I know Neil, you might be in a call. I'm not sure if you're available to.
I am available. My call has ended now. Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm Neil. I've got two hats really. The first one is the Cheshire Neurodivergent Community. We're a self-help and peer support and social group of adults in the East Cheshire area. We were founded about 2 years ago with the idea that those of us who might not appear to need help, but some people might call level 1 autistic plus ADHD. And we always say, well, you don't need help, but we do. So that's why the group was set up. We have a website that I can forward on to you. Also, we have WhatsApp groups and we meet socially as well. My other hat is that I'm an expert by experience with Cheshire Wirral Partnership in their adult autism team. So I do things like online hub sessions. You might have seen me if you go to Space for Autism. I'm there doing hub sessions on a fairly regular basis. Yeah, hello, Simon. I think I've met you before now. So I say I come at two different things. What we're looking for here is to really get our community known to more people and to see what we can offer to you and what I can offer to you and what back again to say form these networks and increase awareness, enlightenment and engagement with the community at large so that they can really understand what we're about, what our difficulties are, but also what we can offer in return.
Beautifully put, Neil. Thank you. And the last one, Jackie, I know you've put your description in the chat. So Jackie works as a senior for the charity Space for Autism and is passionate about inclusion for neurodivergent people. Well, thank you all so much for that. I should have started recording that from the beginning to capture all that great info, but we're recording now. I'll just share the agenda with you all. Just thumbs up if you can see my slide. Wonderful. So we're a little bit over already, but that's sort of the part of this network is we want to create that space for you all to share experiences, share what you're doing. We're going to have our guest speaker, Anna, shortly, who will be giving her lived experience of neuro inclusion. Then we'll have 5-minute Q&A. We'll have a short break after the breakout room activity. Then we'll have a discussion, and we'll be using Mentimeter to get some feedback from you on what you want from this network. Like, what do you want us to do? What would be helpful for you? So just as an overview, so the goal of this network is to support non-profits in Cheshire East and potentially in Cheshire West with Gary joining. We want you to have a space to share your experiences, share practical advice, share resources, which you've already started doing, which is wonderful. I just want to be clear, our role is as a facilitator. We want this to be led by you, especially groups of you who work directly with neurodivergent people, people with advice and experience, but we'll create that space so you can have those chats. The network's for any non-profit staff, volunteers and trustees in Cheshire East. And we're planning it as quarterly meetings, but we'll get your feedback on that and the network objectives later today. And we're keen to co-produce it with people who work with neurodivergent people and neurodivergent people themselves. So very briefly, the objectives of the network is to provide that safe, supportive space for all of you so you can share the great information you've just shared, which is wonderful. Help your organisation become more neuro-inclusive. So hopefully in subsequent networks, you'll take away something that you can use in your organisation. Share advice on affordable, realistic changes. We're going to develop a neuro inclusion webpage. So if any of you have any training, any information about your groups, send it to me and Laura, and we'll put it into our neuro inclusion webpage for the sector. And I've kind of covered that. We're here to facilitate discussion. But yes, moving on from that, I'll go on to our lovely guest speaker, Anna. And if you can share your slides.
Yes, hi. Thank you, Laura. Helen. I had you, Laura, because I can see Laura in front of me. Sorry.
It's fine.
Okay. So, welcome all. My name is Anna. I am a psychotherapist in Manchester. I do work remotely. I'm going to give you, in the next few slides, I'm going to tell you who I am in general, why am I in this world of neurodiversity in general. So, to be able to understand where I am today, I need to tell you a little bit about who I was. So hopefully it won't be too long. I won't bore you too much, but I will tell you a little bit about myself. So I am from Spain. I'm Spanish. I look it. I'm so Spanish looking. It's amazing. People do, yeah, they don't recognize I'm Spanish, and that's okay. I moved to England in 1999. Fun fact is that I moved to England just because I decided to get a coin, throw it into the European map, and wherever the coin fell, I would go. So I didn't know back then, but I think my black and white thinking of being autistic play a huge part on it. Every time I tell them where the coin fell in Torquay down south. So it was nice. It was very nice. So I moved into the UK. I didn't speak any English. I just learned, I failed English, to be honest, when I was in the school in Spain. So for some reason, I ended up in the UK due to this lovely coin falling there. So before November 2019, I used to be a huge supporter of cancer support. And I used to do the runs. I used to do the charity. I felt very strongly because a lot of people that I knew have died and have suffered with cancer. When I was young, in 26 years ago, I represented Spain in the European and World Space Modeling Championship. Is a thing. UK has a team too. it's not very well known, but it is. And now I understand why I had a passion for that, and I will mention that later on. I used to work in the NHS. I love my job. I used to work at Salford Royal. I used to be in the district nursing out of hours department. I decided to take further education with the NHS because they do offer courses to anybody. Now, when I began to do the courses, I did not fit the mold. So I was threatened many times to say, well, if you don't do this, like have an open discussion with 25 people in the same room, you won't be able to pass the course. Now, I did not know I was autistic back then. I understand now that I am, and I have my own way of working, which is okay. By the way, I did pass that that course, but it was really challenging. It was very challenging. Before 2019, I hoped to travel further with my family, friends, and so on. And I've seen the world differently from anybody else around me. Like I was always the problem. It was always me, the awkward one. I was the different person, but resilience, my black and white attitude, I believe, my autism made me move forward. So it never stopped me. So life can change in a blink of a second. Mine happened the 3rd of November 2019. I was at work and I collapsed at work. And since I collapsed for 3 months, I could not walk. Every time I moved, I collapsed again. So I could no longer do the job that I did in the NHS. It really pushed me. And then it followed through a series of diagnoses. So what happened? So a week before COVID happened, the first lockdown, I was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It's a connective tissue disorder where my collagen gene is faulty. So that means that I can break, collapse, have aneurysms, you name it. It's a very complicated condition and it's rare, but it's being seen more and more nowadays. I also had postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So this condition makes me fall. Now I have EDS. If I fall, I break. So I'm confined in a wheelchair most of the time because of it. The reason why I mentioned these two conditions because I did not know people that suffer from EDS POTS are 75% neurodiverse. And that's part of the research study I'm doing. So it's linked somehow. So I got my diagnosis, EDS and POTS, in February. At the end of February, 3 days later, I got diagnosed with autism and dyspraxia. Funnily enough, when someone said to me, "You're autistic," everything fell into place. Everything fitted at last. It was like an awakening moment. However, I lost my job due to ill health. I was retired from the NHS. Now what? And that was just a week before the first lockdown. So during the lockdown, I decided that I will retrain. If I couldn't help people physically, because it was not possible for me any longer, I wanted to help in a different way. So I decided to go through the route of psychotherapy. So I enrolled on Salford University, and I did a master's, a BSc and a master's in psychotherapy. This picture, it looks like it's very important, this picture, and this means a lot. In that picture, you see 4 people just on the floor laughing. It couldn't be further from the truth. In that moment in time, I was in the Mary Seacole building in Salford. I collapsed in front of the lifts. I was on the verge of having a meltdown because you are in public. You are collapsing, you're blocking the lifts because you cannot move, you cannot stand up, you cannot crawl. So my friends decided to sit down with me. Now to them it was like, oh, it'll be funny, let's all sit on the floor, then on your own. But to me, it's like, oh my gosh, they understand my struggle and they're sitting down with me rather than panicking and trying to lift me up or saying, come on, Anna, move shovel on the side and let people go in and out of the lift. They sat down with me. And later on, further people joined. And it was about 15 of us on the floor, just laughing and until I was well enough to stand up again and sat on the chair that somebody brought. So for someone that's autistic, that prevented a huge meltdown, and I felt accepted. People, they accepted me, and they were okay with it. I didn't have to explain to anybody. They just accepted me. So with their support, I belonged. And sometimes the only thing's a little bit of acceptance to be able to belong. So I managed to finish my degree. I became a psychotherapist, so I could help others in similar situations than me or in any way I could. I noticed that the different work ethic that I had as a psychotherapist and a counselor was very different from other counselors. And more I got referrals with people with neurodiversity. I have two kids with neurodiversity. Well, one is an adult, he's 21, and the other one is 15. Both of them, they got autism, ADHD, and dyspraxia at different levels. So it wasn't just my life experience as a person. It was a life experience as a student, as a mother, as a employee and employer. And knowing that I could help someone struggling just because I am the way I am. This is my office. Lots of lights, very sensory, and is well received by my autistic students and clients. So, it's out of the thing, but something that changed once I got diagnosed with autism. Not with the EDS support, but when I got diagnosed with autism, friends disappeared. I was born with autism. I wasn't just all of a sudden being autistic. My career changed, or everything that I knew. I could no longer walk. I could no longer practice what I did. It finished. Independence from helping someone to help to stand up or to use a commode or to do a less leg dressing. It became that I had to be looked after. It's very easy to try to help someone, but when you are the one that needs help, it's really difficult, especially at the age of 37. However, I gained a deeper understanding of who I am. I understood myself. I got really good support from people that I didn't think I would have the support. It was really good that I could. And I saw this career. This career has changed so many things in my life that I could not imagine. And I'm so glad that I took this step. I always say that the world can be cruel, and it is cruel. However, one comment that someone made was like, Anna, your difficulties have become your superpower. And it took me a while to actually realize what that was. So it means that what I thought was a fault of me is something that I could help somebody else to understand and somebody else to be relatable. Sometimes you only need to be relatable to feel like I am not the only one. So one of the few sources of support I got when I got diagnosed, I don't know if anyone knows this, but the DSAs from the Student Finance England, when you get the funding, they offer disability student allowance. Now, this was a pinnacle for me to be able to qualify. I had a specialist neurodiversity mentor and a specialist study skills mentor for people with neurodiversity, and that you get an hour a week until you finish your degree. It was great. 1 hour with the mentor and the other one with the study skills. And that support for me was huge. Knowing that you're going through, when you are dropped in university or in any educational setting, you are left on your own. No one really knows how to guide you because they know you. And this is free. It doesn't go towards your to your student loan. It's completely free, and you can apply as many times as long as you're in education. My teachers, my tutors, and other students were a huge support for me. My family's friends and peers also. Without their support, I don't think I will be here. People underestimate the disability service at the university. The disability services offers an SPLD assessment to anyone that they believe they might be dyslexic, autistic, ADHD, that suffers from dyscalculia, and so on. This test usually is about £400, but if you do it through the university, it's £50 or free, depending of the education setting that you're on. One thing that helped me massively was the Know Don't Trust. The Know Don't Trust helps students of any background that have a disability, and they provide equipment or things that you need to be able to achieve academically. in this case, it was my mobility at the time that really I was really struggling. They funded a £4,000 mobility scooter for me. And they funded one that I could put in the car, so it looks like a small suitcase. And then when I'm out, I could mobilize. They fund anything that will help you to move forward. The DSA gave me a desk, a table, a computer, a printer, software. So the software will read to me anything that I had on the screen. I had software that I could say speak and write. So whatever I said, it will write it for you in different ways. And all this is for free if you are in that department. Just not long ago, also, I was lucky enough to have access to work. If you don't know what access to work is help up to £68,000 that the government gives you to help you to maintain employment. So in this case, I use a wheelchair most of the time, and I was awarded by the Access to Work a support worker, so someone that can help me mobilize, or someone that can help me write an email, because sensor if I have a sensory episode, I cannot be in front of a screen, or I cannot uh, create an email or anything like that, because it's too much for me in that moment in time. So I have this person that does it for me, and it's guaranteed that you have this person for 3 years. After 3 years, you reapply. They pay the taxes when I have to go to a certain places where I do part of my work. The Access to Work will pay for the taxes. They pay for equipment. They pay for a tablet, a paper tablet, because sometimes when I cannot see the screen, a paper tablet ensures that all my work is down. And if I leave my paper tablet behind, I can access all the information with an app on my phone, which is amazing. Um, I thrive when I'm given an opportunity. So many doors have closed for me that someone that believe in me a little bit, it means so much to me. So when Helen proposed for me to be a guest speaker, although I've been a guest speaker elsewhere, I was so excited because I thought, gosh, this person is seeing what I can offer, and I was extremely happy. So what happened? So on my first degree, I graduated. I was sensory overloaded. It was so much I couldn't cope, but my friends and my family and the people around me made it possible. I was on the verge of having a meltdown. I had sensory overload. It was really hard, but I did graduate, and I was so proud of myself to doing so, and to go through those 2 hours with hundreds of people around me. Last year, in June, I did another master's. In this case, was a SEN plus 14 special needs teaching master's. That helps me that helped me through my career. I know it's not been that long since I graduated, but I will show you how I use those tools again. So since graduating the first time, I made Talk to Anna Ltd. Is a counseling and psychotherapy service led by me. I'm an accredited therapist. I only provide remote counseling, and I specialize in neurodiversity and due to the obvious conditions such as EDS, fibromyalgia, ME, um, um, because autism doesn't come on its own. You will always have a comorbidity, anxiety, depression, and other type of health issues, and people forget that you don't only live with that. Secondly, I volunteer with a company called Mist. It's a charity, and thanks to this course, I managed to develop an anger management course. That it was the only one in the whole Bolton borough, and it was funded by the local authority. I was able to give free class to people with neurodiversity, unemployment, mental health conditions, free people that they don't know how to deal with the anger, because any person that's neurodiverse and non-neurodiverse, some moments of frustration, you become angry, not because you want to be angry, because you're so frustrated and you are tired. I also collaborate with Active Student Support. Is a company that is supported by the DSA. So all the mentors in the company are disabled or neurodiverse. And we support students with any kind of mental health, neurodiversity, disability, and so on throughout the journey through academia. So why did it brought me today? So as you can see, this is Active Student Support. We were in Coventry doing a in the neurodiversity convention. It went very well, and we gained some experience and we get some stuff as well because, as I said, we employ disability and neurodiversity. We take it from experience. I currently join also a doctorate, and the doctorate that I'm doing is mainly for women with ASD and EDS. I cannot say too much at the moment because it's very, very soon into the studies, but it's the only study of its kind currently. Also, since being diagnosed with autism and disabilities, I became an employer. I have 3 people employing my company and the possibility to have 2 extra people. But with the right support, you are able to do that. No long ago, I got approached by the Autism Wellbeing Project. In Witness is somewhere in Liverpool, and I've been asked to be part of the podcast, an autism podcast that they have in Spotify. I think so far they've done 10 podcasts, but the idea of it is to give some more. At the end of the session, I will send all these slides to Helen. So if anyone wants any information about these places, I put the links below. So you're more than welcome to have a look. And the picture that you have in the middle in Mist, this is another course that I developed. It's called Spring Forward. And every single lady in that picture is neurodiverse. And it was the first time for few of them that they ever actually completed something in several weeks. We were very supportive of their needs and so on. So support is out there, like organizations, study, work is there. It's just that you need to feel confident to ask for it and don't be afraid to take it. It is very hard to accept help. And a lot of us don't just exist. We actually on fight and flight mode because we're masking, we overloaded, and we just want to fit in. So what now? I'm still autistic. I'm still navigating. I'm still learning. So I will move forward. I'm very passionate towards autism, neurodiversity, chronic illnesses, and disability. We don't need fixing. We just need little tweaks around us that make us be able to cope. So in all the jobs that I had, all the people that were against how I worked or how I communicate myself, because I can be very straightforward, I became very good at what I did in each job. So the fun fact about saying talk to Anna in any job that I had, you always could hear, talk to Anna, she'll know the guidelines. Talk to Anna, she did this. So that was a common theme in all my jobs and so on, talk to Anna. So hence why my company is called Talk to Anna. If anyone wanted any information regarding the DSA and how they can be supported, you can go to their website. You can contact Tara, is the owner and CEO of the company, and we were more than happy to supply with any information that can help you to get any support. And thank you very much for your time. And yeah, I'm available to do any guest speaking if anybody would like to. If you're near me, and I can't do physically, I will come in person, but I also can do it remotely. And that's pretty much it. So any questions, and I'm more than welcome.
Thank you so much, Anna. That was wonderful and great to hear more about how you got into Talk to Anna. So does anyone have any questions? We can take 1 or 2 and then we'll move on to breakout rooms.
A quick question, Anna.
Yeah.
Do you support individuals who are trying to work? Because some of the young people I work with, they've had negative experiences in employment. Funny enough, it's always the NHS, and some people they just need a bit more support once they're in working. And so, is it possible to refer people to you that are just starting work?
I'm happy to mentor anybody towards employment. Yes, I'm more than happy to do that. Obviously, I don't have any input of how to be employed and so on, but I can give you tips to navigate the NHS. I worked for many, many years in the NHS, so I'm more than happy to give you my insights and guide you. Also, it's very important about the access to work, because if you are not in employment, they fast track you and they can put things in place for you. So I could create a mentoring session for several students if you have. I could make one meeting and then do something similar to this and explain how things work and what issues they have, if that would help.
No, that's really helpful. Thank you for that, Anna.
Yeah. So my email is at the bottom. Again, I will send the slides to Helen, but you're more than welcome to email me with any queries.
Anyways, thank you so much, Anna.
Yeah, we'll also send all contact details of everyone attending today after the session, if they've agreed for their details to be shared. Thank you, Anna. And probably time for one more question.
There's a question from Lorraine in the chat. Is the ACT support available for apprenticeships?
Well, we are dealing with that at the moment because I have people that are in apprenticeships, but they still have to attend an education system. It's not just apprenticeship itself. It all depends. But by all means, if you send me an email with your query, I can forward it to the main responsible person, and if we can help and get you support towards it, most definitely we will.
Thank you so much, Anna. Right, we're about at the time to move on to breakout rooms. So I'll put you randomly into breakouts. If you prefer not to go into a breakout, if you just want to be put in a sort of a quiet room by yourself, just either message in the chat or just don't click the button that says join breakout when it comes up. So what we'd like you to do in these breakouts is just to share one challenge that you faced around your inclusion or one experience that you've had. Think about what the challenge is, why it's difficult to address, what you could try, and basically create a space for you all to share your experiences. So is everyone clear on that? Yeah, super. We'll come back at about 10, a little bit before 11. And just bear with me while I put you on to breakouts. Right, you should have a little thing popping up on your screen, but as I said, if you don't want to join a breakout, just don't click to join. There's a few of you in each one, so you shouldn't be by yourself. Jackie and Shelley, if you don't want to join, I'll just put you in a separate room so you can have a bit of quiet time. Me and Laura not talking. If I can work out how to do this. And it won't let me do it because I've randomly assigned them. Let me try something else showing Jackie. Bear with me. But and Jackie. Right, you should both get an invite so you can move to a quiet room if you would like to. There we go. Or you can just stay here. Hi, Laura. How's it going?
Hello.
I'll just stop the recording for now. Or should I leave it running? I really should practice the recording before.
Let's stop it and then practice starting it again.
Okay.
Yeah.